How's it going, guys? I hope you're all doing well today. So, this episode is going to be titled The Dark Ages. So, this is one of the darkest times in history. It was a time that you didn't want to be about in, put it that way. So, the Dark Ages, roughly from the birth of Roman Catholicism in 312 AD to about 1648 AD was the period which is known through Europe as the Dark Ages. During this time, the Roman Catholic Church ruled Europe with an iron fist. They controlled the kings and queens of countries and dictated to them what laws to pass. If the king or queen of a country did not do what they were told, then he would be killed and another person would be put in their place. There was no such thing as freedom of conscience. If you believed in something other than what the Roman Church told you to believe, then you'd be classed as a heretic. You'd be visited by the Roman Holy Office in the middle of the night, dragged from your home and burned at the stake. I've got a passage from a book I've got. It's called Popery and its Social Aspect by the Reverend R.P. Blakeney. It's on page 83. He says, "At the dead of night, the muffled coach with its masked attendants rolled to the door of the accused and demanded their victim in the name of that holy office, the very mention of which caused the bravest hearts to quail. None ever thought of the resistance, which would be utterly vain. The child was torn from its distracted mother, or the husband from the bosom of his wife, and hurried off to a cell, perhaps unconscious of any guilt, and utterly ignorant of any crime, to await his doom. The victim, perchance, of malevolence and revenge, but few ever hoped to see their friends if once arrested. The secret prisons were reserved for heretics, and there they were never allowed to see their acquaintances or even to speak to their jailers, except when addressed." So, this time, in the Dark Ages, things started changing. There was a few things that came into place that brought an end to the Dark Ages. And a few of these things that happened were: there was a Bible being translated by John Wycliffe in 1384 from Latin to Middle English. Then there was the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Turks in 1453. Then there was Martin Luther nailing his 95 Theses to the door of Wittenberg in 1517. And there was also William Tyndale's translation of the Bible from the Hebrew and Greek Bible manuscripts to English in 1526. So I'll go through a few of these because they all link in to where I'm going here. So in the year 1384, a man by the name of John Wycliffe, he translated the Bible from Latin into Middle English. He was so hated by Rome for doing this that they burned any of his followers. When Wycliffe finally died, the Roman Catholic Church dug up his skeleton, smashed it to pieces, cursed him, and then they burned the bones. So in 1453, the Empire of Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Turks. The Greek and Hebrew scholars that were living there at the time fled Constantinople to Europe in fear of their lives, and they brought with them their Bibles. And then in 1517, Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the door of Wittenberg, protesting against the doctrines and rituals of the Catholic Church. Anyone caught in possession of any of Martin Luther's works was burned alive. And in the year 1526, the Bible was translated from the Hebrew and Greek copies of the Bible into English by a brave man named William Tyndale. He made it his mission to get the English Bible into the hands of the common man. This was forbidden by Rome, and he was chased around Europe by the Roman Church. He was thrown in jail, and any copies of his Bible that were found were burned. He was eventually strangled and burned at the stake. So, because of these brave people, and because of the Empire of Constantinople falling, what happened is Rome started losing its power. The Protestant Reformation started to flourish and spread through Europe. So, this was the start of Rome losing all its power over the nations. The Bible could now be read by the average person, and they could see that what they were being told by Rome, it totally conflicted what Rome was teaching to what they started reading in the Bibles was totally, it conflicted with each other. So they could start reading this and they knew they didn't need Rome anymore. So that was how these countries all started breaking away from Rome. So the great freedoms that came about from the Protestant Reformation, like the freedom of the press, freedom to worship and freedom of conscience, were so condemned by Rome that they had to move quickly to destroy the Reformation in its tracks. So in 1540, Rome founded an order known as the Jesuit Order, and the whole purpose of this order was to destroy the Protestant Reformation. Now, in this whole series that I'm doing, the Jesuit Order is really, they're the main, I believe they're the main players in the world today. And I'm going to show from this point in the next series that I do, that in the next episode I'll show the Jesuit Order and their history and how they've actually moved from the time of 1540 right all the way through to where we are just now, so that you can see a pattern, so that you can follow history and you can see the sort of, you can see the way they think and the way they move, and then you can make up your own mind if this organisation is really still controlling affairs to this day. So, thanks for listening again, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to hear you again the next time. Good night.